Do you believe that Sun Wukong really existed? Did Tang Sanzing truly undergo 81 trials to obtain the true scriptures? After watching this video, you will see that Journey to the West is not a fabricated story. And you will realize that the real-life Tang Sanzing is even more legendary than it all. But who is Wang, and where is Monk Daling? This true story begins with an archaeological discovery in 1953. In Dunhuang, Gansu Province, archaeologists discovered the Yuan Cave, 100 kilometers east of the Thousand Buddha Cave. This cave dates from the mid to late Tang dynasty to the northern Song period. There are a total of 41 caves carved into the cliff face. When archaeologists opened the second cave, they saw a painting as follows. There is a monk, a horse, and a disciple with a monkey head. The disciple wears a golden ring. What do you think? Is this time travel? Isn't this Tang Sanzing with Sun Wukong? If you didn't know, Journey to the West is a novel written during the Ming Dynasty. How could Sun Wukong appear in a rock painting from the Tang Dynasty? And even Sun Wukong is a real-life figure. The archaeologists hurried back to Dunhuang that night because it holds two of the original documents about Tang Sanzing. Records of the western regions. They wanted to find some clues within them. And as expected, the archaeologists quickly found clues and pieced together a story. That year, Chang'an was engulfed in famine, and the Turks in the north were ready to invade at any time. But Tang Emperor decided to open the gates to let the people of Chang'an escape the famine. Among these refugees was a 25-year-old monk who seized the opportunity to sneak across the border, hoping to reach India. His religious name was Xuanzing, a real-life figure from Wu Chang. So who is Tang Sanzing? In reality, Tang Sanzing had no passport and was not the Tang Emperor's brother. He relied solely on courage to transform himself from a monk into a fugitive. The first stop after leaving Chang'an was Liangzhou. Liangzhou was under attack by Jiyu Zaiwan and the Turks. No one could pass without a passport. Like Xuanzing, he could only set up an altar in Liangzhou to discuss scriptures and the economy of the Chang'an people. He befriended passing merchants to prepare for his plan to sneak across the border. Although Xuanzing was only 25 at the time, he was already a well-known and erudite monk. At that time, Western countries also believed in Buddhism. So, for about a month or possibly longer, merchants from Western countries also believed in Buddhism. Merchants spread Xuanzang's story to these Western lands. Additionally, there was a rumor that Xuanzing would soon cross the border to the Western regions. This rumor nearly ruined his plan. Upon hearing that Xuanzing was about to cross the border, the governor of Liangzhou ordered him captured and returned to Chang'an. Learning he was about to be captured, Xuanzing quickly fled the place of erudite. His next destination was Yumen Pass. Master Xuanzing traveled day and night to reach Guozhou outside Yumen Pass. He learned that the commander of Guozhou was also a Buddhist believer, so he thought this place could shelter him. And after entering the city, Xuanzing shed his fatigue and even secured a special room for himself. But that very night, the arrest warrant issued by Liangzhou also reached Guozhou. At this point, Xuanzing became a criminal again and was subsequently imprisoned. An official named Li Zhang interrogated Xuanzing all night. There was one thing he couldn't have expected. Li Zhang threw out the arrest warrant on the spot and revealed that he was also a Buddhist. This official said he couldn't help Xuanzing much and told him to escape quickly. Thus, Xuanzing narrowly escaped. He hid in a place called Shuingfo, also known as the Yanta Temple. Archaeologists later discovered that the 10,000 Buddhists still had a large temple located right on the eastern side. And the story of Sun Wukong happened right here, in this monastery. That day, Xuanzing was meditating. Suddenly, the monastery's abbot brought a Hu person named Sipantu. He was a commoner who came to worship Buddha. Merchants on the Silk Road often faced many risks. Therefore, they often went to temples to pray, hoping for the protection of the Buddha, as well as for a safe journey. For example, the Jade Forest Cave in Dunhuang is actually also an ancient Buddhist worship site. Wealthy commoners spent a lot of money to dig a cave. Inside, there were many Buddhist statues and images of the Buddha they worshipped. Here, they also painted stories about Buddhism or other tales. Afterward, they would make offerings to the monks in the caves to seek blessings and ward off evil. This time, the commoner Sipantu came to seek safety for himself. He had a rather strange appearance, along with thick hair. First, he gave the abbot a few coins, then said to Xuanzing, "Please grant me Buddhist ordination." This was like asking a master to perform a ritual. People wanted to be blessed by famous monks. At that time, receiving a blessing cost a lot of money. However, Xuanzing said nothing and immediately performed the ceremony for Sipantu. Sipantu was very happy and vowed to ensure Xuanzang's safety. He assured that if there were any problems in Guazhou, he would receive his help. Of course, Xuanzing did not refuse him. He took Sipantu's hand and said, "Help me pass through the 5 watchtowers and cross the Mocha Desert." Mocha is a vast desert outside the Yumen Pass. It separates the western regions from the eastern lands. To control this strategic location, the Tang army established 5 watchtowers on this desert. The watchtowers were used to control the 5 water sources of the oases here. Hearing the name Longchen Chain, Sipantu immediately nodded in agreement. At the appointed time, Sipantu and an old man appeared together. The old man led a horse and said to Xuanzing, "Your horse will not be able to pass through this place. Although my horse is old and thin, it has traveled this road dozens of times. It knows the routes here well." So Xuanzing exchanged horses with the old man. And then he followed Sipantu into the desert. You may not believe it, but experts have concluded that this is exactly the story depicted on the mural. At that moment, Xuanzing was about to close his eyes when he saw a figure trying to approach him with a knife at his waist. This shadow was none other than Sipantu. But for some reason, Sipantu suddenly put the knife back in his waist and retreated. A few dozen steps away from Xuanzing. The next day, before sunrise, Sipantu said, "Master, I must tell you this. This is a shadow, a shadow. Master, I must tell you this. It is truly madness that we have come here. It is too dangerous to try to cross the desert. Near here are the 5 watchtowers, and now we must hide during the day and move at night. Moreover, we must take advantage of the evening to fetch water from the oases. But they are too close to the watchtowers. This is a journey into certain death. I have a family, and they need me. Great Master, please return with me. I cannot let you go alone. If the Great Master is captured by a soldier, they will surely torture and force a confession from you. Then the Great Master will reveal me, and I will certainly be executed." After a while of persuasion, Sipantu looked at Xuanzing. But at this moment, he was not the least bit shaken. Sipantu, worried, drew his knife and stepped forward. He said, "If the Great Master insists on continuing, I will have to kill you." Immediately, Xuanzing looked at Sipantu and said, "Even if I am cut into 100 pieces, I will not stop you. Please turn back." After that, Xuanzing continued his journey, using the old method to pass the 5 watchtowers. Xuanzing walked more than 40 kilometers and saw the first watchtower from afar. He stopped there and lay waiting until night to fetch water. But in the evening, before he could fetch water, several arrows flew over, and Xuanzing was captured. The captain of the first watchtower was Wang Shan. It turned out Wang Shan was also a devout Buddhist. He had heard Xuanzang's story before. Upon meeting, he would do his utmost to help Xuanzing to pass through the watchtower. Wang Shan prepared a huge leather bag filled with water for Xuanzing. He also showed Xuanzing how to pass the second and third watchtowers, and told Xuanzing to go to the fourth tower, because the guard of that tower was his relative. After successfully passing the second and third towers, Xuanzing reached the fourth tower, refilled his water, and continued on his way. He intended to bypass the Wukong oasis to be able to pass the fifth watchtower. This part was a journey of over 100 kilometers. Halfway there, Xuanzing found himself lost, because he could not find the Wukong oasis. While drinking water, he could no longer hold the huge leather bag tightly, due to his weakened body, causing the remaining water to spill out completely. At this point, Xuanzing decided to turn east, to return to the fourth watchtower. But after walking a few kilometers, he suddenly stopped, and remembered his vow never to go east, until he reached India. What is happening to me? Thinking of this, Xuanzing once again continued northwest. At this moment, he began to recite the Heart Sutra of Prajnaparamita, also known as the Heart Sutra of Prajnaparamita. That was his way of combating fear. A few years earlier, when Xuanzing was studying in Sichuan, he treated an elderly man suffering from an abscess. Afterward, the elderly man taught Xuanzing this sutra, which was several hundred characters. After reading it, Xuanzing was utterly astonished. He intended to ask for further advice, but the old man had vanished. Prajna means wisdom. Paramita means reaching the other shore. Heart means the core. Thus, the sutra's name essentially means reaching the other shore. To obtain the core of wisdom, Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara was recounted how he personally experienced the wisdom of reaching the other shore. He realized that to attain the other shore of wisdom, the ultimate secret lies in enlightenment. Ancient Indian philosophical scriptures demand high levels of comprehension, with multiple layers of reasoning that ordinary people find hard to refute. During Xuanzang's time, no one truly had deep expertise in Buddhist scripture, which is why he had to travel to India. Essentially, he wanted to go there to resolve a fundamental academic issue. From Xuanzang's perspective, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, namely visual, auditory, olfactory, plus monist consciousness and alaya consciousness, these 8 consciousnesses constitute a person. At that time, many Chinese masters had discovered a 9th consciousness from emptiness, namely true suchness. They used their own theory of true suchness to argue, making everything chaotic. Xuanzing was endowed with superhuman abilities from a young age, namely memory, logical reasoning with Buddhist scriptures, and linguistic talent. Scriptures seem to have been memorized by him from a past life, even from transliterated Sanskrit. He could grasp the correct meaning. Thus, around age 15 to 16, Xuanzing had read all contemporary Buddhist scriptures. At age 20, he began traveling, visiting eminent monks and debating with them. Ultimately, Xuanzing concluded that to refute the 9th consciousness, he needed to go to India and personally study the original Yogacara school. At age 23, upon reaching Chang'an, he debated with an Indian monk. This monk sat at Nalanda Monastery in India. There was a master named Silabhadra. He was teaching the Yogacara school. So Xuanzing applied for a travel permit to go to India to study. But it turned out that the permit application was not approved for many years. Hence, at age 25, he risked his life to secretly flee there. No matter how determined, Xuanzing could not withstand hunger and thirst. Xuanzing fainted on horseback. At this moment, the horse also escaped his control. It began heading east. The horse moved faster and faster, throwing Xuanzing off its back. 1. The figure of Master Xuanzing. 2. Unexpectedly, it turned out to be an oasis, precisely the human path. 3. This fake horse actually pointed a very good direction. 4. Thanks to that, Master Xuanzing was saved. 5. Afterward, Xuanzing successfully passed the fifth tower. 6. And reached the first small kingdom in the western regions, now Eritrea and Lahani. 7. From Eritrea, the Silk Road splits into 3 branches. 8. The southern route, the central route, and the northern route. 9. Both the southern and central routes have vast deserts. 10. So Xuanzing chose the northern route, namely the grassland road. 11. Just as he was about to set off, a horse dashed past. 12. That swift horse was actually a messenger. 13. The messenger invited Xuanzing. 14. Liaocheng was a major Buddhist kingdom in the western regions. 15. Master Xuanzing did not refuse and had to take the central route to the city. 16. Liaocheng lies at the foot of the Tubin Mountain. 17. The emperor of Liaocheng was named Ku Wan. 18. He was a descendant of the Ku family who migrated to the western region. 19. Master Xuanzing had started his journey from the south. 20. And entered the western regions from the south. 21. The descendants of the Ku family came to the western regions during War. 22. Ku Wentai built Liao. 23. By collecting customs taxes on the silk. 24. At the same time, this king also had thousands of Bijli Buddhist statues built here. 25. This cave is very impressive. 26. But unfortunately, Germans, British, Russians, and Japanese destroyed 90. 27. Previously, the Germans had excavated this cave very effectively. 28. Sadly, it was destroyed during World War II. 29. Now, we can only sense the prosperity of 30. Through restored paintings. 31. Ku Wentai was very ambitious, like the king of Liaoyang. 32. He was a talented leader. 33. And the most suitable person to unify the western regions. 34. Coincidentally, the person who could help him achieve great peace had just appeared. 35. That was the monk before him, Master Xuanzing. 36. Dozens of days later, Xuanzing also realized Ku Wentai. 37. Ku Wentai had invited him and never wanted to let him leave. 38. So Master Xuanzing began a hunger strike. 39. The emperor daily offered. 40. But Master Xuanzing remained silent with closed eyes, nearly starving to death. 41. It is said that another story occurred at that time. 42. That day, Ku Wentai's wife came to offer food and drink and pay. Master, I have a way to help you continue your journey westward. 44. At this, Xuanzing. 45. The wife brought an old woman. S surname was Zhang and she was Ku Wentai. 47. The old woman said nothing, only wept. 48. Xuanzing closed his eyes again, and at that moment Ku Wentai. 49. Then, Master Xuanzing heard Ku Wentai say, "If you insist on heading west, let us become sworn brothers. In front are the Buddha and my mother. After the pilgrimage, please return to Gaocheng to propagate the Dharma here for 3 years." At this time, Ku Wentai reluctantly let Master Xuanzing go, upon hearing that his mother would fast to death if he prevented him. A month later, Ku Wentai prepared the necessary supplies for the expedition, including an escort for Master Xuanzing, providing travel expenses sufficient for 20 years, along with dozens of precious gifts to ask other emperors to help his brother on the journey westward. From Liaocheng, Master Xuanzing passed through Kharasa and then reached Kucha. Kucha was also a Buddhist country. Here, Master Xuanzing met a monk named Muda Judo, a great master from Chaoshu, who advocated the two vehicles Dharma, similar to Theravada Buddhism in Southeast, and different from the Mahayana Buddhism that Master Xuanzing pursued. Therefore, Muda Judo challenged Master Xuanzing with Theravada Buddhist teachings. Unexpectedly, Master Xuanzing also had a deep understanding. After the debate, Muda Judo converted to Mahayana Buddhism. This event was recorded verbatim in the historical records of the Kingdom of Kucha. From Kucha, Master Xuanzing reached the Great Snowy Mountain, which is the Pamir Plateau today. Xuanzang's team crossed the Pamir after passing through the Ling Mountain Valley. But during this journey, he lost half of his companions, and the cause was believed to be an avalanche. After 7 days of walking in the snowy mountains, the team finally crossed and reached a place called Rihai. This was the palace of the Turkic Khaganate's emperor in the city of Suai. The entire team went to pay respects to the local king, along with gifts sent by the emperor of Galchek. The Turkic Khagan was very pleased to dispatch an envoy who had been to Chang'an, proficient in many languages, to escort Master Xuanzing. 73 years after Master Xuanzing left the capital, the great poet Li Bai was born here. The next stop was the Western Kingdom. Before reaching the Western Kingdom, Master Xuanzing passed through a small isolated city. It was inhabited by over 300 Chinese families. Although their language and clothing were identical to the Turks, their manners and rituals still followed Han customs. The people of the Western Kingdom were skilled in business, and many of them had traveled to China along the Silk Road. Today, most Chinese with the surname Shi have origins from this kingdom. Through research, I learned that this is a Chinese surname, used by the Han Chinese themselves and Sinicized ethnic groups. In ancient times, there were two forms of surnames, called Shane, or Shane, and Shi, transliterated as Shi. The next stop after the Western Kingdom was the city of Samarkand, known as the Kingdom of Sogdiana, or the Kingdom of Khan in history. The Kingdom of Sogdiana might be the prototype of the Lion Forest Kingdom, the most powerful monster kingdom in Journey to the West. During the Ming Dynasty, when Wu Chunyin wrote Journey to the West, Samarkand and most of Central Asia had been completely Islamized, as had the Western regions. At that time, Wu Chunyin used the Lion Forest to introduce the powerful Islamic culture to contemporary readers in a more understandable way. He regarded the Islamic countries in Central Asia as the Lion Forest Kingdom, and also said there were many monsters in this kingdom. The leader of the Lion Forest monsters was also the only monster that required the Buddha himself to subdue. Therefore, through this story, most people in the Ming Dynasty gained a preliminary understanding of the Islamic countries in Central Asia at that time. Journey to the West can be seen as a book on international politics. I Gong of Qin than Thay Hoi. Let's return to the story of Master Xuanzing. When he arrived at the kingdom of Sogdiana, it was a non-Islamic kingdom. The people here believed in Zoroastrianism. Here, Master Xuanzing encountered deception. That story happened when he and his disciples visited a local Buddhist temple. It should be reiterated that the kingdom of Sogdiana was once a Buddhist power, with 2 Buddhist monasteries still existing near their capital. 2 disciples of Master Xuanzing intended to enter inside to worship, but they were beaten by fire cult followers and nearly killed. At this time, Master Xuanzing was preaching Buddhism to the emperor in the palace. Unexpectedly, in just one night, Master Xuanzing persuaded the emperor to convert to Buddhism. The next day, the emperor announced the expulsion of all those who caused trouble that night. Before long, Buddhist monasteries were restored. Monks began moving into palaces and monasteries. The Samoan kingdom once again became a Buddhist center in Central Asia. Now, Master Xuanzing arrived at a place called Afghanistan, coinciding with the modern country's name. They climbed a huge snow-capped mountain and then descended. Thus, Master Xuanzing set foot in India. Heading east along the Ganges River, Master Xuanzing was on his way to Nalanda Monastery. Suddenly, he was kidnapped by a group of strangers. They found Master Xuanzing handsome and thought the goddess would like him. This group followed Brahmanism, believing in the snow mountain goddess Durga. The goddess's palace was located on the snow-capped mountain peak at the source of the Ganges. Precisely Tibet's Kailash Peak, goddess Durga possessed boundless power. Every spring and autumn, handsome men had to be sacrificed to her. Here, Master Xuanzing was tied up and placed on a high altar. The sacrificial ritual. At this moment, Master Xuanzing began reciting the Heart Sutra again. In an instant, the Ganges River overturned boats. The earth shook, trees broke and fell. Even ancient trees snapped. The robbers thought they had angered the goddess and quickly released Master Xuanzing. But the wind still did not cease. They returned his belongings and begged Master Xuanzing for forgiveness. The Ganges finally calmed. Next, Master Xuanzing followed the Ganges to visit the birthplace and preaching sites of Shakyamuni Buddha. At age 29, after 4 years of walking, he finally arrived, with Nalanda Monastery appearing before his eyes. There were over 10,000 monks in the monastery. More than 1,000 of them could read and explain 20 sutras. Over 500 could read and explain 30 sutras. And only 10 people, including Master Xuanzing, could read and explain 50 sutras. And only one person knew all the scriptures. His name was Sila Bhadra. He was the advisor to all the monks there. At Nalanda Monastery, monks learned through debate and preaching. A debater who could memorize all scriptures and persuade others would be called a master. Master Xuanzing entered the school and debated with his predecessors. Soon, he became one of the leading masters of the monastery. One day, a Brahmin man came to Nalanda Monastery to challenge. He posted 40 debate topics at the monastery gate and demanded to debate with the great monks. In ancient India, such debates were brutal. The loser often had to cut out their tongue or commit suicide. The Brahmin challenger was so confident that he declared the loser must commit suicide. Other great masters, upon hearing the debate topics, hesitated and dared not accept the challenge. Only Master Xuanzing spoke up and accepted. Then, Master Xuanzing began refuting each argument of this Brahmin follower. The Brahmin was bewildered by Master Xuanzang's majestic demeanor, to the point of being unable to respond. Soon, he admitted defeat and intended to commit suicide. Master Xuanzing prevented the man from doing so. Thus, according to the rules, the Brahmin man had to serve Master Xuanzing as a lifelong servant. One night, the master told the Brahmin man that he was studying some other scriptures similar to Mahayana Buddhism. These were sutras written by the Brahmin master Prajnagupta to refute Mahayana. He did not fully understand the origins of some arguments, so he asked this Brahmin follower for help to study them. Indeed, with the other followers' help, Master Xuanzing soon completed the treatise refuting heresies. After seeing this, Sila Bhadra and the 9 masters felt it was time to confront the Brahmins. But at this moment, another problem arose. The disciple of Wei Huamang was freed by Xuanzing for contributing to the writing work. This man later returned to East India and recommended Master Xuanzing to his country's emperor. The East Indian emperor then wrote a letter inviting Master Xuanzing to come and propagate the Dharma. But Master Xuanzing declined because he was preparing for a debate. Afterward, the East Indian emperor became angry and said, "I am an ordinary person, fond of pleasures. Now hearing of the great master's reputation, I intend to learn the Dharma. If the monk does not come, I have 10,000 ways to destroy the Nalanda monastery." Xuanzing had no choice but to temporarily halt his debate preparations and go to East India. Later, the East Indian masters were convinced by Xuanzing. This matter leaked out, causing another Indian emperor to also become angry. At that time, India was divided into 5 parts: Central, East, West, North, and South. Because this emperor was the most powerful among them. His name was Harsha, who ruled northern and central India, along with parts of western and southern India. The debate on the supreme Dharma between Mahayana and external teachings was a proposal put forward by Harsha. He invited Master Xuanzing to meet many times, but the master declined, citing his debate preparations. That day, Harsha became angry upon hearing that Master Xuanzing had gone to East India. He directly marched his army into East India and demanded that the local emperor bring the master to meet him immediately, and said that the debate would take place ahead of schedule. Afterward, he invited 18 other emperors to attend. There were over 3,000 monks from various Buddhist schools, over 2,000 Brahmin monks and other monks, and over 1,000 monks from Nalanda Monastery. All of them came to Kannauj beside the Ganges River. For the next 18 days, anyone could challenge Xuanzing and question Mahayana Buddhism, debating publicly. The loser would have to die. Time passed day after day. But no one dared to step forward to debate because they had all read Master Xuanzang's treatise refuting heresies. and found no logical flaws in it. At the end of the debate, the Mahayana experts on site honored Master Xuanzang as the Mahayana Diva. 14 years after entering India, Master Xuanzang decided to return to China. The Indian emperors suggested that Master Xuanzang return by sea. However, Master Xuanzang and the Emperor of Gaochang had agreed on 3 years of Dharma teaching. He still set out to cross the snowy mountains and deserts. Master Xuanzang brought out 567 Sanskrit sutra texts, 150 Buddhist banners, and 7 Buddhist statues. This journey was extremely arduous. After arriving in the kingdom of Khotan, Xuanzang suddenly heard that Gaochang had been destroyed and its emperor had died. Therefore, he stopped in Khotan and wrote a letter to Emperor Taizong of Tang to confess his crime of crossing the border, and attributed all his success to the Tang emperor. He also said that upon returning, he would focus on translating scriptures, never engaging in politics. Thus, Emperor Taizong of Tang allowed Xuanzang to return and focus on translating scriptures. It is said that Emperor Taizong greatly enjoyed conversing with Master Xuanzang in his later years, because this emperor spent his final days beside Xuanzang. This event was recorded in the historical books of the Tang dynasty. Later, Xuanzang lived through the era of Empress Wu Zetian. During this time, he secretly taught the Japanese monk Michiaki, and later spread Zen Buddhism to Japan. At the age of 62, Master Xuanzang took only a few close disciples to the Jade Flower Monastery. There, he continued translating scriptures even as his health declined. In the 1980s, archaeologists discovered a stone pedestal with inscriptions at the ruins of Nat Wat Pagoda. Later, it was believed that these inscriptions were the only surviving handwriting of Master Xuanzang. When looking at these lines of text, I suddenly thought of something. The entire life of Master Xuanzang and the whole of Journey to the West are actually annotations to the Heart Sutra, helping us understand what emptiness is. Perhaps all of you once believed that you would change the world, like the great sage equal to heaven when he first emerged from the stone. But in your 20s, you will be crushed by society, like Sun Wukong being suppressed under the 5 Elements mountain and wearing the golden headband. Even if you still have strength, you are just an ordinary person. At this point, you will begin to learn to fear and avoid things. By your 30s, you will become boastful and enjoy showing off. Gradually, you will become Zhu Baji and indulge in pleasures, going on a pilgrimage, fighting monsters, relying on Sun Wukong. These are the ideals of youth. But by age 50, you will become Sha Wujing. Even if you were once a great general, commanding tens of thousands of heavenly troops, or once caused chaos in the heavenly court, at this age, even a 20-year-old can give you orders, and you can only agree and follow him. By age 60, you will understand Tang Sanzang and realize his determination, resilience, and lonely struggle. Then you will leave behind powerful writings like Master Xuanzang. I hope through this video, I can be of help to someone. Yes, that's all the content of this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, and share with friends. Thank you all.